As strikes continue across the Middle East, Israel and the US may soon confront a new Iranian leader. It's hard to get verified information out of the country, but according to reports tonight, a likely successor is Mojtaba Khamenei, son of the former supreme leader, killed over the weekend by an Israeli airstrike. Earlier today, US President Donald Trump was asked what the worst-case scenario was for the conflict.
I guess the worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen. We don't want that to happen. That would probably be the worst. You go through this and then in 5 years you realize you put somebody in who is no better. So we'd like to see somebody in there that's going to bring it back for the people.
Sharon Haskell is the Deputy Foreign Minister of Israel. Sharon Haskell, welcome to 7:30.
Hi, hello, thank you.
There are reports tonight that the leading contender to take over from the supreme leader is his son. If he is confirmed, will Israel target him?
Yes, and it will be only a matter of time. Anyone that will try and take the position of leading this fanatical regime, this destructive regime, who creates only death and destruction all around them, will be a target.
So will Australia, I beg your pardon, will Israel keep assassinating Ayatollahs until you get a leader that you approve of?
No, absolutely not. I mean, look, it's not about the actual person, but about the goal. And the Iranian regime, the IRGC goal, is a fanatical regime that have prescribed as the biggest goal on their platform the destruction of Western civilization. They call for death to Israel, death to America, death to the West. This is a clear warning for us, for Australia, for any democracy. And so, you know, we went into an operation a little bit more than a year ago in order to destroy an imminent threat, an immediate threat of a nuclear capability for this fanatical regime, a ballistic missile program that was wanted to reach thousands of ballistic missiles with huge destruction capability. Those are existential threats for the state of Israel, but also, as you see today, neighboring countries, and also the United States. And, you know, we've been thinking a lot about the destroying the existential threat. But the fact is that this regime goal, okay, and it's not just a goal, but they are building a plan, strategic plan. They are working up tools in order to execute the goal of the destruction of our country. And
so
you know,
if I may, let's try and understand this then. Is there anybody amongst the senior clerics in Iran whom Israel would accept taking over from Ayatollah Khamenei?
What we are hoping is by eliminating, you know, the power of threat of the Iranian regime, that will open a path for the people of Iran to take power, to liberate themselves from this tyrant, from this terrorist regime, the regime that actually butchered almost 40,000 of its own people in the most horrendous way possible.
So are you talking about the dismantling the entire Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps and its militias, nearly up to 190,000 people?
No. We are targeting their sources of power of destruction, like their nuclear program, like the ballistic missile program. Tonight, we went and launched, you know, a whole operation to try and eliminate as much as possible the ballistic launchers, rocket launchers, which was very successful as well. So we are targeting the actual tools of destruction that this regime actually have. And the one who are the master plan and the power behind to execute the plan of destruction, of eliminating Israel and of eliminating Western society. I think it's very clear that any decent human being understand the danger of this regime, and anyone should support the change of power into a democratic power, or to liberate the Iranian power from such a vile, monstrous, and dangerous fanatic regime.
So let me understand this. Donald Trump says that he would hold discussions, negotiations with the existing regime. Would Israel also do that?
Look, I think that Trump was very clear that there are no negotiations right now. They had the opportunity, and what they did while they were negotiating is buying time. And we know, the American knows, the Australian knows, you know that they were buying times in order to take the nuclear plan and the nuclear equipment that they've had to dig it underground deep enough so that even the American bombers will not be able to reach it, which would mean, in reality, immunity to the Iranian regime.
All right,
They bought time in order to move also the ballistic missile program underground, so that the production of it will not be able to be harmed. And that is very, very dangerous. This would have eliminated our capability of destroying their mass destruction tools.
Let me ask you this. Can you confirm that it was Israeli intelligence that Prime Minister Netanyahu shared with the Americans that Ayatollah Khamenei and his advisors were meeting in Tehran last Saturday? That was Israeli intelligence that he shared with the Americans.
So I can say that the intelligence is being shared between Israel and between America.
In that case, was that Israeli intelligence about the meeting that was taking place in Tehran with the supreme leader and his most senior staff?
So look, I'm not going to share any sources and who the source, but I can show you that there's a very close cooperation, and a great friendship and alliance between America and between Israel. We share intelligence all around the world because it saves lives. It saves Israeli lives, it saves American lives, it saves Australian lives. And this is a mutual cooperation of sharing of information. Both countries have different operations, have different intelligence sources, but we share it in order to, make sure that the world is a safer place.
So in your view, how is it that the current situation resolves? You say you have to get rid of anybody in the regime who holds the views of the existing regime. How does this attack, this war that's now being started, resolve?
So, look, we understand that when the Grand Master Plan is the destruction of the West by this regime, if we go and eliminate every time their capability when they're reaching a mass destruction capability, like a nuclear capability, it will be a matter of a confrontation almost every year because they will not stop trying to reach that. And so we understand that one of the best solution for that is to try and open a path for the Iranian people to liberate themselves from this regime. If they will be a leader that will be taking that charge, maybe a democratic force, maybe the Shah, maybe anyone who their love for their people is greater than the goal of death and destruction, I think that would be a positive outcome, not just for our region, but for Iran itself and the Iranian people.
You've just mentioned the Shah. I think that Donald Trump has already said that he is not the person he expects to take over. So where is this democratic leader coming from within Iran who's going to be able to deal with a very large, financially entrenched Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps?
I think at the end of the day, that needs to be the decision of the Iranian people. They need to choose their leader. I think they are the one who needs to liberate themselves. And I think that once we've eliminated most of the massive firepower, of the Iranian regime, that will create the right conditions for the Iranian people who marched in the street and were massacred just 50 days ago. That will open a path for them to actually succeed in liberating themselves.
Sharon Haskell, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.